Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Tweak to Leader in You podcast, where we chat about realistic leadership theories. Happy New Year! And we are back with some amazing episodes, and I'm so happy to connect with you. It's been a long time coming. I just want to do a quick introduction to our series that we're going to be talking about on community belonging. This has been something that's been on my mind for quite some time to talk about community belonging because I've had some conversations with a few friends about what does community belonging mean and how do you use the word belonging in the work that you do and how do you connect it in so many different ways. So to me personally, community belonging means allowing yourself to belong and don't allow others to distract you. What do I mean by that? Sometimes people sometimes push you out of community if you're doing so great or if you're succeeding above them. And sometimes I find that as a negative aspect. You cannot push people who were born or who lived in that community outside the community. And I use this method of pulling people in instead of pulling them out, calling people in instead of calling them out, bringing that togetherness, that ubuntu means connecting with everyone's successes in order to move forward. Belonging is a big topic, and it's something that I'm constantly thinking about, and I can't wait to actually share more about this with the Tamarack Institute as I'm going to be connecting more on this type of work. When we speak about the experiences of belonging and the impact on my life, for me personally, I've experienced belonging, especially when living in Nova Scotia. I've been a part of different communities, being able to connect with different communities, such as the More Buddy Day Learning Institute, Inclusion Nova Scotia, the kayaking community. These community has allowed me to belong because of their comfort, and sometimes you have to make people feel comfortable. You have to make people feel as though that they are in a safe space. Because if you're not going to make them feel that they're in a safe space, then why are we doing this? Why you want them to feel that they belong? That word belong is so clear that they belong there. They're supposed to be there. And so you don't want to push people out or push people away. And my experiences with sitting on different board of directors, I've learned so much experiences when people are calling people out instead of calling people in. I've had an experience when I sat on a board, and I'm not going to disclaim the board, where the executive director was called out of the of their shenanigans, but then it wasn't the executive director shenanigans. Instead, it was the board shenanigans because the board was kind of describing the executive director out of their context of leadership. If you're not going to support your leader, why are you there? If you're just going to be able to just babysit them or put the bottle into their and like put a pacifier, I call it. They say, oh, Templeton, that's really insulting. Well, no, it's not insulting. If you want a leader to lead, if you let them lead, you give them the opportunity to connect, you give them the opportunity to move forward, you give them the opportunity to push forward. And that's what we're all about. Giving leaders the area to belong in the community. It could to belong with that organization. That's something that I always think about, especially when myself doing leadership. I have an exciting opportunity to share with you about our nonprofit that's coming up. That's called a Live House, and I always want to think about the work that I'm doing is bringing people in instead of calling them out. Calling people out, you'd be like, oh, that's very ego, that's very high of you, that's very good of you to call people out. But no, that's not good. That's not going to help people with nothing. You want to be able to bring them in. And how are you bringing people in? Ways to bring people in is by connecting with them, learning more about their story. And learning stories is so inspiring because sometimes it connects with your story, or sometimes it also connects with maybe a family member story that you heard that may resonate with you in that way. Connecting and finding people's belongings, going and attending some of their gatherings, being in spaces that you may not find yourself in. And I feel like for me, I have found myself in different spaces with different executive directors and leaders where they got to see the other side of Templeton. They didn't see the employee side of Templeton. They saw the leader of side of Templeton, where they got to see vulnerability, empathy, and different ways. And so that's really important. um, do I think that there's a sense of community, of belonging that contributes to the whole well-being? Yes. Community is so important. It brings people's well-being and mental health to another level. It helps them so much. I mean, it helps them with great passion. It helps them with great connection. And so these are my 5 minute snippets on belonging. And I hope that you enjoy them. We have an amazing guest that's going to be coming in a few of our episodes, Scott Churchill, and you're going to see more of his aspects of belonging. And so we may go into this word of belonging for the next few series because community belonging is really important. This is something that's so hard. And our next episode is going to be on something that's called inclusivity of spaces. And I feel that as you connect with community, you also have to be inclusive. And what does that mean? Stay tuned to the next episode. Thank you so much for coming on, and I appreciate all of you. See you at the next episode, everyone.